Hey guys, how are ya? As with every video game, Halo has to sell, and sell it does, with each title selling copies in the millions. In recent years, we've seen monetization tactics abound, especially within Halo 5 and even Halo Wars 2, where Blitz is basically unwinnable if the enemy got a hundo from Grandma. A little less intrusive than microtransactions are the idea of pre-orders. Now, don't get me wrong, I have pre-ordered each game when possible, and haven't been disappointed. The midnight release events are some of the most fun I've ever had. But, if you pre-order a game, you're paying for something that you potentially wouldn't like. Herein lies the problem. So with that in mind, let's answer the question, are Halo's pre-order bonuses worth it? Since Halo CE released without a pre-order, at least as far as I know, let's begin with Halo 2. Halo 2's pre-order option was made use of by at least 1.5 million people. People lined up in the streets in anticipation. The game was a massive success, as we should all know, and the pre-order bonuses were pretty nifty. The limited edition of Halo 2 came in a metal steelbook case with Master Chief on the back and just a simple 2 on the front. That's confidence well earned. Inside is a game booklet, remember those things? With an elite on it. I brought this to school so many times trying to draw the elites and grunts. It was before I knew the Halo novels existed. Anyway, aside from the point, the package also came with Conversations from the Universe, a collection of, you guessed it, convos from the Halo universe. They range from UNSC intelligence to brute briefings and prophet ramblings. Neat stuff. On the back are some slang terms for the alien species, including, strangely, a couple for the engineers which we never see in-game. The major piece of the package, though, is the Collector's Edition disc, including content such as concept art, early builds from Halo, behind the scenes, and this.
Welcome to the DVD surround sound test.
Some things from the deleted content concept art were actually finally realized, such as the mongoose and the blind wolf, later called a Morolath in the novel Hunters in the Dark. Overall, I would consider the Halo 2 Limited Collector's Edition to be absolutely worth the original purchase. Oh boy, next up is Halo 3. This game hardly needed any bonuses to draw buyers. We all wanted to finish the fight. Here's where the usual rundown of pre-order selections began. There were 3 versions, Standard, Limited, and Legendary. For the sake of brevity, let's look at the last 2. The Limited Edition was a slightly higher cost than Standard, which would become Standard with all of the pre-order bonuses for future titles, and included all the usual items, plus a steelbook case, bonus feature disc, alternate booklet art, the Chief and Arbiter poster, a Halo Wars ad, which is understandable, a Pontiac ad, cross-marketing, I'd rather have the mongoose please, and finally a hardcover Beastarium. This described the species of Halo in more detail, including their home planets, societal structure, and more. Perfect for a nerd like me. Within the special features was a book of concept art, and another behind-the-scenes disc, which gives a really good look at the game's development. But wait, there's more, for over $100-something. With the Legendary Edition, you get all the above, as well as a Legendary disc with more BTS. No, not that BTS. And it all comes in this shiny helmet that you can't wear. But it looks cool. Overall, I think buying it in separate pieces later in life was a better decision than shelling out the money in 2007. Not like I had it. Yeah, take that, Goldman Sachs. I was on to you. I first played Halo Wars on a demo disc from an Xbox magazine and was blown away. I had to have it. But I was 13 and had no money, so I eventually got the regular edition. Years later, I found the limited edition, and it is dope. It comes with a steelbook fronted by Ripa Morami, which could not be cooler. Inside the case is the booklet describing units and how they work, as well as a hint guide, of which I got 2 for some reason. Interestingly, it's basically a sample of the full Prima guide, as seen in these comparison shots. Lastly, within the case is a code card for 3 Halo 3 maps, Assembly, Orbital, and Sandbox, which would later release on the Mythic disc, as well as the Honor Guard Wraith tank for Halo Wars itself. Along with all that came a Spirit of Fire package. This included a lot, such as a Spirit of Fire coaster, cards detailing each leader character and their specialties, and finally, Halo Wars Genesis, a hardback comic detailing the Spirit of Fire's mission at Harvest, the first human planet the Covenant made contact with. All in all, this package I believe to be 100% worth someone's pre-order. Halo 3 ODST is next. Its pre-order allowed players to use Sergeant Johnson as a character in Firefight. But the biggest thing for me, besides the Mythic Disc, was the beta access to try Halo Reach, which was very mysterious at the time. Speaking of, let's look at Reach's pre-order bonuses. Reach had a pre-order setup similar to that of Halo 3, with 3 separate packages. Standard came with the Recon helmet. This was mine. The Heroic Edition came with an Oni package, as well as the Officer Elite armor set. Within the Oni package is Halsey's journal, which can be seen in-game in Reach's tribute room, as well as Halo 5's opening cinematic. The book contains a magnetic lock system, lots of notes from Halsey, and more. A lot of extras are within the back of the journal, including, and this is a long list so be ready, Halsey's UNSC keycard, a biochemical analysis of Master Chief, a UNSC patch, a spooky photo, an image of Noble Team, an image of an Elite with notes about the armor markings, a battle plan schematic from the UNSC Iroquois, files on Spartans, miscellaneous notes, letters, news, etc. And finally, a map of a section of Reach with the location secretly marked by an accidental coffee spill. So all in all, a boatload of stuff for a massive fan of the extended Halo universe. To be honest, it's a staggering amount of content in such a small package that I find it somewhat hard to digest when revisiting. I also have an unopened copy of the package just for the fact of it, I guess. The Legendary Edition came with all of the above, plus the Flaming Head Armor effect, previously only usable by Bungie personnel, a 2-hour BTS of Reach's cutscenes, and last but not least, a statue of Noble Team. This is a thing of beauty, and was totally unattainable to me as a child. All these years later, a friend finally found one for me, and I am very appreciative. So was pre-ordering Reach worth it? Yeah, I'd say it was. Next is Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, or what I just call CEA. This pre-order gave you a Master Chief avatar suit and access to the Grunt Funeral Skull, which made grunts explode after death. It was pretty neat, but made Legendary a little too easy. The game, whether pre-ordered or not, also came with access to remastered CE maps for Reach, including Firefight on Installation 04. I'd say it was a pretty safe decision to pre-order, since you knew exactly what you were getting on release. Up next is Halo 4. My dad and I both got a copy at release night, during a super fun event back where I used to live. Where do I start? Halo 4 had different armor bonuses for a million different retailers. I'll give a few examples here. They gave skins, armors, etc. Beyond that, there was early access to some specializations in the ranking system, as well as early DLC map access. In terms of more tangible bonuses, we can start with the Steelbook case. Housed in another UNSC package, the white case included the campaign disc and multiplayer disc. Yes, for those who didn't know, the multiplayer had to be completely downloaded from a separate disc. Wild times. But about the case, it looks really cool. It's white with the UNSC theme. For my specific bonuses in-game, I received the Forest Hazop armor, Arctic BR skin, Wargames Xbox theme, back when that was a thing for the 360, and Ghost Avatar prop. With the figure I bought later, I also got the Toxic Scout skin, just as an aside. It was pretty neat that you could get those things just by buying figures that kind of matched. From the midnight release, I have a Halo 4 temporary tattoo, unused. It reminds me of how my dad let me skip school the next day to play the game. Okay, prepare yourself for the tangible bonus content. Here is Gabriel Thorne's briefing on weaponry and more, along with some extra extended universe notes. This bad boy is a blueprint of Gabriel Thorne's armor, as well as some others. Next is a package of code cards for various items, as well as a card for Forward Unto Dawn, perhaps the best Halo live-action product to date, which I highly recommend. I guess I overestimated the amount of content in the Halo 4 Limited Edition. Still, I think it was a good decision to pre-order it. Now, on to Halo 5. This game followed the usual 3-tier system. The Limited Edition came in a really neat looking steelbook and had a cool blue and red game disc. In terms of bonuses, a code card gave purchasers access to a rec bundle of items for use in the Warzone game type. This was basically nothing because you could buy rec points at any time, including now. But don't do that. It also came with Halo The Fall of Reach animated series. Although the armors and such weren't canon as of that time frame in the extended universe, it was still a fun watch. I think the game also gave players a unique bonus armor if they played it in the first week of release. I believe it was some form of Locke's helmet. Looking at physical bonuses, we received the usual lore pages centered around Locke this time. We also got cards about the Spartans from the game, sort of like those in the Halo Wars Limited Edition. Pretty neat. The pre-order package also came with an exclusive Metal Earth figure in the form of a Guardian. Notice how I never opened it. They looked cool as hell, but I tried making the Pelican once and sliced my fingers and threw it away in defeat. No way will I ever be able to complete this. The Legendary Edition comes with all the above plus a Lock and Chief statue, which is honestly pretty cool. But the top edition comes only with the code and no game disc. They did offer people to get disc replacements for the code card, but if you had already used the code, you couldn't get it. It didn't make any sense. I don't understand who made that decision or why. Now, these bonus items are indeed cool. The game, however, did not justify the cost, at least in my eyes. It released with barely any content, I did not enjoy the story of the game, so on. I won't go into all the issues here, but I just generally don't have a very good opinion of the game overall. Multiplayer is fun. This is the issue with pre-orders. You are purchasing a potentially disappointing game with the lure of shiny extras you won't look at past the day of purchase. We'll expand upon this more a little later on. Halo Wars 2 released in 2017, and did have pre-order bonuses in the form of some cool pins and in-game content, as well as the Halo Wars Definitive Edition, a remaster of Halo Wars 1 as a bonus. The Steelbook never released in my area, so unfortunately I don't have that. And when I showed up for a midnight release event, there was none. I did and do thoroughly enjoy the game though, so I would count this as a worthy pre-order. So now that we've covered all the release titles, what about Infinite? Should I pre-order that? Well, all we know so far is from trailers and toys, and that it comes with a cool statue. There's no physical PC release, only one for Xbox, at least at this time. That said, the question is the same for any video game pre-order. Are the trinkets worth buying a potentially bad game? I suppose that's subjective and it's your call to make. I believe Halo has a pretty good track record, but I think I'll wait to see on this one. So far, I do have high hopes. Thanks for watching, it means a lot. If you enjoyed, a like and subscription go a long way. I suppose that's it for now. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.